Okay, so this is the tank that we've decided to modify. It's on our counter. It's been dry for quite a long time just because we didn't have the electrical sockets to plug it in and get it running. So this is what the start is. We're going to change the decor, change the gravel, we'll go over that. This is just a black decorative gravel. And we've got the river wood in there, it looks really nice. We're going to keep and utilise the original filter. This is a 14 litre Ciano tank, very nice, little small plastic lid there. Nice LED, should be bright enough for what we're aiming to do. We're going to plant this tank out with some Seiryu stone, and yeah, let's get going and see where we end up. Okay, for our hardscaping, I think we're going to go with Seiryu stone. I really love the texture of this stuff. Very, very beautiful. Lots of interesting ways to have this. Don't know exactly how I'm going to put it in this aquarium, but I'm pretty sure that we'll find a way. The beauty of owning an aquarium shop is I've got a whole shop and a whole box of rocks to choose from, so I can envision this coming out slightly, maybe a third piece pointing, or maybe pointing in the same direction, maybe like this, and then maybe a feature piece dug into the substrate at the back and then surrounded by taller growing plants. We're going to lay it all out first and we'll see where we end up. We'll play around with different combinations. Secondly, the substrate, I like the black, so we are going to keep with the black. And I've decided on the scapers soil from Dennerle. Very, very underrated soil, I think. We don't sell an awful lot of it in the shop, and I don't understand why. Very, very nice. It's already quite moist. Secure hold for the plants. It's a volcanic soil. It's an active soil, and it goes well with CO2. Fish safe, good for shrimp, and optimised plant growth. What could be better? So we're going to crack that open and have a look there. It says that we can add it directly to an unwashed into a dry aquarium. Arrange the decorative objects, add the plants, and then finally fill with water. Any clouding will clear within a few hours. So, here we go. That's the substrate we're going to use. We're going to use the Seiryu stone. We've got a built-in LED. I'm going to slide this tank out shortly. We're going to strip it all out, and when I rejoin you guys, we're going to end up with a bare tank and a blank canvas. Okay guys, we're back after taking that substrate out, and now we're just going to clean the back of the tank, and I need to put the background on there. We're going to go with a self-adhesive vinyl. Make sure that back's nice and clean, and we dampen off the glass itself. Use a roll of self-adhesive vinyl, just been roughly cut from the roll that I have in the shop. The hardest part of the process is actually finding the edge. I'm peeling that from the background. There we go. And for ease of use, you can give this a dampen as well. It helps it just move around there on the background and lets us place that nice and gently. Little bit over on each corner, and then we just need to take this as my key card for Premier Aquatics, and then we just gently push out those air bubbles. You see that still some trapped. Nice and easy on a small tank like this. Now we'll adhere to the glass. With no air bubbles trapped, we should have a flawless end product, hopefully. Continue to push all of those out. And then with a single edge razor blade, we'll peel that off, and we'll just hold the vinyl very tight in the corner. And just trim right along the edge, just neaten that up. Beautiful. Oh guys, really well finished. Final background. Next we will be adding our substrate. That's around half of the bag. I'm going to stack that up deep enough at the front so we can have plenty of plants in there, if you guys can see that. I'm going to take that back up into the back corners. And then we're going to play around with how our rock's going to sit, how we want our aquascape. I really like this longish piece. Maybe that one's too wide. This will come down into the front there, maybe almost into the front corner. Something a little bit smaller and longer. Maybe like that, and then maybe in the back corner we go with something a little bit like that. I'm not sure on the composition of that one. And then of course we're going to plant behind that with taller plants and lots of carpeting. I may go for some Pogostemion helferi in the centre. And then we're going to use the Micranthemum Monte Carlo at the front, and we're going to go with Eusteralis right at the back there to give us a little bit of height. Okay, I'm pleased with that. I think that looks really nice, quite effective. A little bit of deflection there in the glass, I'm afraid, but I think that looks really good. I'm pleased with that. I'm just going to go with the 3 pieces of rock, and I think the plant's going to finish that off really nicely. I'm going to plant dry. I'm going to dampen off with our spray bottle and dampen all the substrate. We're going to use the tweezers to poke the plants in. Next we'll go through how to take the plants out of the pots and put them into the tank. Okay, I'm going to start in the mid-ground, which is a bit of an unusual place to start, but I love the Pogostemion helferi, and that's what we're going to go with in the centre ground. I'm going to try and make 2 pots spread out. I may not actually need both of the 2 pots, but we'll see how many plants we get in the first pot. I think this one's slightly larger. I'm going to go with this one. So, tease the plant out of its pot. It's in a rock wool with a ceramic weight in there, so just keeps everything sunk down. And as you prise open the rock wool, you should be able to see there the plant is well rooted into them, and we've got several plants already available to us. We'll be able to spread these out nicely, and as you can see there, let's see if we can zoom in slightly, and there's a little bit of rock wool still on. It's not too detrimental. You can take your tweezers and just pick out any of them bits. And you can see there, you can just tease it away from the roots. Now, I am not a professional aquascaper. In fact, I do very few aquascapes. We were trained very, very well with Chester Zoo when I was at the zoo, so I have had professional training by professionals in how to do this kind of aquatics, but I wouldn't say that I was an expert by any stretch. But I've got 4 nice sized clumps there, and I think they're going to fill out that centre ground and just either side of the rock really nicely. So I think, without further ado, I think I'm going to place this one on this side of the rock, and I'm just going to tease the soil in around that. This one here, right in between them 2 rocks. Hopefully we can get that to stay in. What I will do, I'll trickle some of this soil into that gap and push that. I'm hoping that this Pogostemion then will grow up and over these rocks. It is a nice plant, very nice plant. Is that going to be too hidden? Quite possibly. Let's go in the mid-ground. And then I will continue this bed over this side. Maybe we'll just plant this area and then maybe have the Eusteralis going all the way around the back. So we'll take out this pot also. And this hasn't been planned in advance. We're just winging it and seeing where we end up. These are all plants that are available for sale in the shop. No longer, of course, because I'm using them, but these are all available at Premier Aquatics, and you can see there Really good root system on this plant. And I think I'm going to get another 3, a fair sized clump there. And they're not very deeply rooted, so I've got to be quite careful. Maybe we have Pogostemion right here at the front. Slightly into this corner, put a substrate just over it there, tease that in. Maybe the last piece coming down into the front there. I certainly don't think the Monte Carlo is going to outgrow it, so I think it will grow much taller than the Monte Carlo, and I will now get another couple of pots. Okay, this is the plant that I've chosen for the foreground. Just excuse the reflections. It's Eusteralis stellata. Very, very nice plant. Really pretty. And I think 2 pots, maybe 3 pots, will fill out the background of this tank and give us plenty of height in the aquarium. Pinkish tinge once that LED lighting and the CO2 do the trick, and yeah, this is going to look absolutely amazing. Okay, and out of the tank now. You can see the pinkish reddish underside of these leaves. I really enjoy this plant, and again we're going to take it out of the pot, loosen it from the rock wool. These are relatively young plants, so they've not had time to become too thickly rooted into the rock wool, so they come out relatively easy. We've got a few in there, and we've got 1 stem. This is all out of 1 pot, remember, so let's just gently tease those apart. 2, 3 stems, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, almost 20 stems there from one pot. That's fantastic. Each one has its own individual root system. Each one is very healthy. I'm going to lay them out here now, and then we're going to plant them quickly before things get too dry. Okay, we're just going to wet all our substrate as we're working. The rock looks beautiful when it's been dampened off. Just make sure everything's nice and damp, and then we're going to use our tweezers. We're going to get just at the roots there. Oh, and I dropped it. And we're going to push them nicely down into the substrate, get them well rooted down, spread them evenly right across the back. You guys see there, should we pull that forward slightly? I think I'm making a pig's ear of that. Tallest ones, of course, I will put further towards the back, and none of these plants are yet very tall, so they'll soon grow. We'll be able to trim and get them looking really nice. Planting 3s in this back corner just above the helferi, again leaving lots of space so the light can come through. And get right to the base of these plants, get them nice and thick to start with. Right at the back that we can't see yet, but we will be able to view as the plants grow, of course. Make sure that they are well rooted in. I may get away with one pot of this Eusteralis. With having so many plants in an individual pot, I think we will get away with that. This is going to look fantastic. Right, this pot is actually surplus. Don't think we need this one. And the tank so far, planting is looking like that, nicely spread out. There's plenty of room for them to grow in amongst each other. Scapers soil looks absolutely lovely. Dampen everything down. Now we're going to work on the foreground. We're going to have some Monte Carlo along the front and just coming round this corner, and hope we can get that carpet in shortly. We should have enough light with the LED that's built in. It's relatively, and obviously that sits on there. It's going to look fantastic. And again, the plant that we've chosen for our carpet is Micranthemum Monte Carlo. Growth speed fast. It's a very quick growing carpeting plant if you can give it enough light. It does need quite a lot of light, but I think we should be okay. I'm going to start with one pot and we will see how we go with that. But you can see there's plenty of growth, plenty of roots. Let's get that out. Okay, still working on the tank there. Let's see if we can put this. Okay, Micranthemum Monte Carlo. Plenty of roots in there going into the substrate. We're going to tease that out of the pot. Find the split in the rock walls, the natural split there, and we're going to take this out now. Start to split that up. We can move that to one side. I'm going to start to split this up into smaller pieces. There will be lots and lots of stems of this beautiful Monte Carlo. Now I could plant it as one, like that, and let it spread. I think we will try and do that with this piece. Right into this front corner. And we're going to get that relatively well down. Tease it in. And that should give us some cover in that corner. And let's see how fine we take this. What we can do is plant it in clumps just like this and spread it out. And in such a small tank and with so little time, I don't think you guys want to see me splitting this into tiny segments and planting it like that. So I think we're just going to allow that to form its own natural spread and let these interlock. They start to spread immediately pretty much. This one here can be split into two. And we'll plant this one down in this corner. And the very fine pieces here. find where the root mass is. And on this one it is all over really, because it's quite shallowly planted. Making sure that goes down there nicely. It's well planted. It's quite difficult with this Monte Carlo on this scaping soil. It's quite difficult to plant into, so there we go. Alright guys, that is our small aquarium, and in a second let's put this small, let's just wet the back of that so we get a good, so it sticks well. Small internal filter in the back. Now let's lift it into position. Okay guys, this is the light unit that the tank actually sits on. This is what it comes with, and we're now ready to lift our planted aquarium straight onto this stand and line that up nicely. That should do that. We will put on a nice tight fitting lid just to make sure everything fits. The wires for the pump, that's absolutely fine. And now we just need to fill with water. Right everybody, from that original tank that we had set up with the wood, and it was just a bare display tank on our counter, we've now transformed it in about 45 minutes into this. It's not the most professional aquascape in the world, but I'm really pleased with it. It looks great and I think it's going to serve us well. Look out for updates on the Premier Aquatics page. We're on Facebook. We do live unboxings. We regularly take our customers round the tanks and show them what we've got in: plants, fish, dry goods, aquascaping. Come and visit. We're in Runcorn, Cheshire, and hopefully like and subscribe to the channel and carry on watching on YouTube. Thank you very much.